Hey, so this is the one that I've been wanting to do since I started this page. We're going to make ceviche. Earlier today, we butchered down the king mackerel. I have the ceviche parts left aside. Now, what we want to do first, though, is we want to make the marinade. And that is going to consist of these ingredients right here on the table. I have limes, cucumbers, onions, habanero, cilantro, celery, orange, and some ginger. A little bit of ginger goes a very long way, so I'm probably not even going to use all of this. We're going to put all this into the blender, going to blend it up nice and smooth. I don't know if you guys remember in the chicharron video I shot when I was making the salsa criolla, I left a little bit of water in those onions so that when I added the chili, it made it hotter. I'm going to add water into this mixture as well to bring out that heat from these habaneros. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and get started so you guys can see it come together, all right? I don't even have to really cut these because they're just going to get blended right up. The onion, it's all going to get blended. So we'll just cut a little bit of that up. Lost a little there. Okay. The cucumber, you can skin it or you can put it in whole just like that. I'm just going to take off the majority of the peel here because I don't want it to be that green when it's all done. Seeds and all will go right in. We're going to end up passing all this through a strainer anyway, so it's all going to get cleaned out. And cilantro, ginger. Like I said, a little bit goes a long way. It's just a couple little pieces here. You can see, not very much at all. A couple of celery sticks. I like the flavor of celery in my marinade. I think it really adds to the complexity. This you're going to want to cut up a little smaller because it is a little more rigid. So it's going to take a little more to break it up and make it smaller. We may need more limes than 3. I just put 3 out right now. We'll adjust that as we go. And probably 1 whole orange. You know, I think I'm going to put the rest of that onion in there. We're going to end up adding onion to the ceviche anyway, so what can it hurt, right? I'm going to go ahead and double down on those limes. I don't think there's enough. If you look in the bottom, there's not nearly enough liquid in there. Don't forget to put some salt. Now we blend. So it's pretty smooth. I haven't added any water to it yet, but anytime you use a blender and it's stirring around really fast, you're creating all this friction. That friction creates heat. So instead of adding water, I'm going to add a couple of ice cubes to this. That'll drop the temperature down, and it's going to add that water to it to create that extra kick that we want with that heat, okay? Okay, now that it's blended and we have gotten the ice mixed in, it's cooled down. Let's just give it a smell. Oh, yeah. The only thing we'll end up having to adjust from here on out would probably be salt. And if it's not spicy enough, we also still have that ricotta paste that I was talking about to you guys when I did the pre-meal about ceviche. Now what we want to do is we want to take this and strain it out. We want to get all that vegetable pulp out of there. As you can see, there's quite a bit. So you take a fine mesh strainer and you just let it work its way through. Try not to push too hard on the pulp. You don't want to push that through the grates and back into your mess or into your marinade. So essentially all you're doing is pushing the pulp out of the way to open up those grates again. so that the liquid can pass through the pulp and down into the jar. Tapping works just fine too, except for you can see it splatters a little bit more, or maybe you couldn't see that, but I definitely saw it, that's for sure. I tend to be a little more thorough with my ceviche marinade, so once I'm done straining it the first time, I'll always pass it a second time just in case any little pits got pushed through or, you know, kind of fell over the edge. Because you'll see, look. See that? There's definitely some skipped through while I was passing it. So now we have a nice clean ceviche marinade. Now I want to go ahead and cut up the fish. Again, nice sharp knife. We're going to be making long, even strokes, not sawing back and forth. You have all of this blade here, so use it all. Don't just use a little. Okay, so I put a small dice on the fish. It's going to help it all marinate a little bit quicker. You want to be very consistent with the size that you cut because you want it to marinate the same speed because it is cooking the fish. So that marinade needs to act at the same pace on each piece of fish. It's also time to taste our marinade. Oh, that is spicy. That is what I'm talking about. Oh, that'll clear you right out. Let's put it right on top. Just like that. All of it. Because it's not leche de tigre until it has the fish in it. So then, obviously, you can't just let it sit there. You got to stir it around for a second so that all the fish will get it evenly coated. Some fish marinate faster than others. Like scallops, you don't really even need to do a marinade on. You can just serve them straight out raw. By the time they hit the table, all your vegetables prepped, everything is already cooked. So mackerel though has a bit more structure, a little bit more oil, takes a bit longer. So this is probably going to be a 2-hour marinade. So I'm not even going to start prepping the veggies yet. We're going to do that once the fish is about done. So we'll continue that part of the video in a little while. We have had this marinating for a few hours. You can see that the color of the fish has changed. It's a little whiter. That means that it has already completed its process. I've gone through and done the knife work that we needed to have for all of the vegetables. So we have cucumbers, celery, red pepper, cilantro. We're just going to go ahead and add that right in here. So those are all small dice. They're going to match up with the fish size. We have onions, and I gave you a video the other day about onions. That was the chicharron video when I was making the salsa criolla. I also still, in this case, rinse my sliced onions. Anytime I'm using fresh, give them a rinse. That onion flavor will overpower everything if you don't. So put it all into the bowl. Slice these nice and thin. So we're going to add this in just like that. We're going to give it a mix. Oh, that's looking so good. I cannot wait to eat this. Holy moly. I've been waiting for a good ceviche for a while, and I'm glad that I'm doing it today because it was a Boston 90 today, and that means that like for normal people it was probably like 110. It was ridiculous. We had to go out and buy 2 new ACs today because it was so hot in the first floor that I couldn't even like stand here without pouring sweat. So now we have all this mixed. I can finally put some salt in it. I have some sweet potatoes that I boiled already. I also have choclo, which is that Peruvian corn that I talked about before when I did the ceviche pre-meal. So we're gonna salt the ceviche. I always use kosher salt. Iodized salt is too fine of a grain. I find it doesn't season very well either. So if I were anyone watching this video right now, I'd go to my cabinet and I would throw all of my iodized salt right in the trash and I'd go buy kosher salt. That's just me. That's spicy. Oh yeah, that's spicy. That's gonna be so good. Cannot wait. I love spicy ceviche. Alright. So, I'll put a picture up of this at the end when we have it all plated. I'll put this on top of some lettuce. I have some slices of the camote or the sweet potatoes. We'll have some slices of the choclo. I'll pull one of those out right now so you can see what it looks like. That's a big piece of corn. That's Peruvian corn for you. If you guys really enjoyed this video, found it informative, all that, do me a favor, hit share, get it out there. Let's try and build this community up. So please help me out, whatever you can. Hit like, subscribe. I got this going on YouTube. It's going to go up on Instagram. It's going to be on Facebook. So please do me the favor, share it out to your friends. I hope that you guys can all, get along with it. Give it a try at home. It's going to be delicious. You can use that exact same recipe and just sub in different fish. It'll work with freshwater fish too, trout, perch, bass, you name it, all right? Thanks for joining me on Ceviche. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen every day. So have a great night. See ya.